Hi, I'm MK1 Chris Hudson from Tracen Yorktown. Today we're going to be going over a 29-foot RBS front windshield install. It's a TCTO that came out recently. We're going to show you some tricks to it. It's a pretty tedious process. It takes a little while to do, but hopefully this video will help you out. So let's get started. Like any good coastie, we're going to have our coffee first. One nice warm cup of joe to get us started. TCTO goes over tools. That's what we're going to go over now. They're all laid out on the bench for us to get started. We've noticed along the way there's been some things that have made it easier to work with, like a window scraper and an electric caulk gun. And later on in the TCTO, we'll go through where we'll be using those.
I'm Fireman Jones. I will be assisting MK1 Hudson. First thing we're going to do is tag out the boat and then remove both windshield wipers and remove the forward floodlight.
During the next few steps, we're going to be using the Viper kit, which includes all the tools we're going to need for the next few steps of removing the window.
So I usually start out with a knife to cut through the seal. Just makes it a little bit easier to get through the seal. You can use a blade or a knife, either way. You just got to get just enough through this first seal. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend this wire around this tool and we're going to shove it in the hole right there. It's going to be a little bit hard, so just take your time so you don't hurt yourself. And just get it through there. There it is. You want to pull about a foot through.
There we go. You can anchor it about in the corner of the window right here.
At this point, we're wrapping the cutting wire around the windshield frame in prep to cut the windshield gasket out.
And make sure when you're wrapping it that you hold it tight the whole way and that you get the wire behind the window, in between the window, the back of the window, and the hull. So this is a good example. On this side right here, you can see where the window ends right there. So you want to make sure that wire is behind that lip. For the last step, after the wire's wrapped through, you shove it through again. And then he's going to attach it inside to that ratcheting tool right here that also sticks to the window. So this next step, he's actually going to be doing this ratcheting tool with the wire. A good thing to have with you is a flathead because it helps you to keep it from cutting into the window seal too much. You're going to be moving this suction cup several times to try to get a forward pull on this wire. You want to pull from the top first because it's the easiest pull, and you want to get a forward pull on this wire at all times. It'll make it easier so you don't break the wire.
And we're just going to go very slowly. Now when it gets about parallel with the suction cup, I'm going to move it forward. We're going to continue doing this, ratcheting it and moving the suction cup where it's always ahead of the wire.
Now we're going to come up forward and see what I'm doing up here to help out with the cut. Taking a flathead and putting it on the forward side of the cut itself under the wire, right? Just like that. That way it keeps it from cutting this whole corner, so it's easier for him to cut over there. And do that for each corner, so it only cuts what we need to cut at that time. Otherwise your wire will get too tight and it will break.
So what that means is we only want this leading edge to do the cutting. If he's not holding pressure here, this wire's going to want to cut all of it at once, which is not what we want.
See, there it goes, snap. So sometimes your wire is going to snap. It's so tight, you know, this is the first one that's happened to us in several windows, and that's why you're wearing safety gloves and safety glasses. So now we're going to re-string the wire again. We're just going to start up there and just work it around to right here and just shove it through and just finish the seal. You're good. You're almost through it. All right, so if you find yourself breaking the wire more than one time, that means your angle on your suction cup's probably not good. So you need to make sure you're pulling from the forward edge of it. And you will hear it sounding like a piano string when it gets around here because it's hitting these welds. So don't be scared of that, it's gonna happen. He's almost done cutting through the window right there, as you can see. So now we're gonna put these suction cups on. That way we can go ahead and get this window off the boat. Make sure that red line is not showing. You'll see if I release, see that red line? And you make sure that red line is not showing, otherwise you won't have suction and it will fall off the suction cup. So this is a team lift. I'm gonna rotate this up, just like that. And I'm gonna wait for my partner to get out here and we're gonna lower the window down to some other people. There it is. With the window removed, we're now going to take this nav light panel out and we're going to take this radio backing plate panel out. That way it's easier to install the mullion bracket. So this thing's going to be hanging by the wires, so don't pull on it. Same thing on this, be careful with the wires. You don't want to pull it too hard, you just want to be nice and easy. And it should just fold right out like that. So in this next step, we're going to be installing the mullion bracket. You have to take this cover off. We already did it to make it a little bit faster for the video. So this thing can only go in one spot, but you have to verify that it's straight up and down. And you're supposed to take a bunch of measurements and stuff. The easiest way I found is I made this template and I have dimensions recorded, written down that we're going to place in this video now. So we're going to install this bracket up there like that. You may have to do some beating and banging to get it in there. And this is the template we made to make it easier to install this mullion bracket. And the measurements, like I said, will be in this video. It's just to verify that this bracket itself will be behind the ceramic frit on the window, so it's not blocking any other parts of the window besides the ceramic frit that's there.
The benefit of using the bracket is so we don't have to pull the new windshield up off the ground, up here on the boat, and then take it down. This alleviates the risk of possibly damaging or breaking our new windshield.
It's time to mark and drill. We have everything lined up, so now we're going to mark our holes. You want to verify that you don't push it too far down because then it will hit the window. Just put your marker down in there, mark them.
It's time to install and tighten our lower hardware. We're gonna have somebody from the back side holding a wrench underneath.
Next, we're going to drill out the top two mounting brackets. Once again, we're going to install and tighten our hardware.
Next step is to put these bolts through here. We have found you may have to drill these out a little bit to get these bolts through here. So this is when the fun part begins. We're gonna get this seal off here. Somewhat can be hard work, so here you go.
That's what non-race for, right?
So we're just gonna keep scraping. We're gonna get all the seal off there all the way around the window. The next step is gonna be the primer. This also has a cure time of a minimum of 10 minutes. The maximum is 24 hours. And you're gonna apply it with these daubers. Be careful because it runs really bad and you don't wanna leak it all over the place. So next step is putting this foam on. We're gonna apply it around the whole window and we're also gonna apply it on the mullion bracket.
Now we're going to put our sealant in our caulk gun.
You gotta cut it open towards the end of it so you get a nice even flow out of your sausage tube. So when you're applying the sealant, you have this triangle piece cut out of the tip. It says it in the TCTO. I would recommend doing it because you want to have that angled up so you make sure the sealant pushes down smoothly when you apply it. So the next step, it has you put these brackets up, has you glue them on here, you're supposed to measure. We found they kept falling off, so we did this instead. We have a 5/8 piece of plywood, and I cut a notch in the back of it, and you set it on top of the windshield wiper bracket, and the window will sit perfect on there. So we're going to tape this on there and set the window on top. You also want to put tape up at the top, so when we get the window set in place, you can flip the tape down onto the window to hold the top down. And now it's time for the window install. Once you get the window in place where you want it, and you've got it adjusted correctly, put firm pressure all the way around all the sealant to make sure it's set in place. All right, well that's it for today. We gotta let it cure for 24 hours. Get back at it tomorrow and finish the seal.
So MK1, does that mean we get early liberty?
Nah, you got window watch duty tonight.
Bummer. MK1, it's been 24 hours. Can I go home now?
Nah, we gotta clean up and get the seal on before we can go out of here today. This next step is gonna be putting the finishes touches on this. It's been 24 hours. We're gonna put the UV sealant on there. So same thing, you wanna go a little bit slow. You want it to be above the window a little bit, right? And try to get it as even of a coat as you can. That way when you're spreading it, it goes even. That way you have no air bubbles. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and spread the seal. There's two ways you can do this. You can do it with a spreader like this. I found it easier to use my finger, and I run it along the edge of the window like this. And it creates a nice, smooth finish. Immediately after finishing the seal and smoothing it out, go ahead and take your tape off so the tape doesn't stick to the seal. And it should leave you a nice, clean line. Completed product, we got the seal on. It's good to go. It's got to cure for 24 hours. So we're finishing touches are going to be putting your windshield wipers back on, putting your floodlight on, putting your inside panels on. But we're going to wait for the seal to set up so we don't damage the seal. Hopefully this video helps you out. If you have any questions, you can contact me, and make sure you give this video a thumbs up.
MK1, now can we go home?
Yeah, well, yeah, we can go ahead now.
Woo!